So it's Augsburg that get the victory, beating Bayern by 2-1. Let's just take a look at what that means, of course, at the top of the table. Bayern remain there for the moment, but a win for Borussia Dortmund this weekend would close the gap at the top to just 1 point. And that is exactly what fans of German football would like to see. More of a title race as welcome in Archie Rentut to the show. Archie, where did this come from?
Well, I think the fact that Bayern had all their players away on international duty and 9 of Augsburg's starting 11 tonight didn't get called up. I think that very much helps Augsburg to prepare for this kind of game. But the fact is, their coach, Markus Weinzierl, was talking about it before this game that maybe 1 in 10 times in terms of the performances that you give, you have a chance to beat Bayern. And the real surprise is that was tonight, because no real barrage, no real onslaught came from Bayern, even after they got that goal back to make it 2-1 in the second half. And the thing that Julian Nagelsmann, the Bayern coach, has highlighted after the game is that, sure, you can have this mentality that they have of hating losing, and having all the talent that they have, but you need to do the talent-free actions. And by that, he's talking about tracking back. And I think it's particularly aimed at Leroy Sané, who has been very good in the last few months, but he was jogging back, and he has such a weapon on him defensively when he can really put the heebie-jeebies up the opponents by the way that he's able to track back. And he was just too laissez-faire tonight.
You looked at it, Stephen, you mentioned it. Lewandowski gets one back, you kind of think this is going to end 4-2.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen this before. We've with Bayern this season. Didn't happen.
I don't think we should underestimate the fact that the Bayern players were all away.
Right.
And some would argue that, well, they should be used to it. They've been doing it for years. But the truth is, when you're away on international duty and you come back, it takes a little bit out of you, physically, probably mentally as well. So you've got one team who are 100% at it. None of their players have been away. And so that extra edge, physically, I think was the difference.
In the press conferences before the game, it's been noted by one of the local news outlets here that there's more questions about Corona than there are about the way the team's playing. And the fact that Joshua Kimmich is not vaccinated is something that keeps coming up because he missed this game. And his presence, I think, was felt as well in the midfield, because Marcel Sabitzer, you could also point a finger at for both goals tonight in the way that Mats Pedersen got in between him and Goretzka for the first goal and losing the ball for the second goal. Julian Nagelsmann has said that Marcel Sabitzer is not playing like the player that he knows from RB Leipzig, so that's a big point. But you also look at the average amount of points that Bayern take with and without Joshua Kimmich, and there's a real drop-off there. So whilst it's not legal in Germany to force your employees to be vaccinated right now, I would still expect Bayern to probably be tapping Joshua Kimmich on the shoulder a little bit more prominently now and be going, we really do need you to get vaccinated because we need you on the pitch.
So that opens the door to the chasing pack, Borussia Dortmund in particular. How are they going to muck this one up, Archie?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing about Dortmund this season, Dan. In previous seasons, it's been very Dortmund to be impressive in the bigger games and then flatter to deceive in the smaller one. But this season, they've actually got this ability to not play too well in these smaller games and still take away the points. They're 6 from 6 at home in the Bundesliga so far this season. Erling Haaland is, of course, still injured, but they're playing against a Stuttgart side who have considerable injuries themselves, dropped into the bottom 3 tonight as well. So you'd still make Dortmund favourites, even if they weren't great at all against RB Leipzig before the international break. The biggest talking point with Dortmund has been how Marco Reus implicitly criticised coach Marco Rose for going with a back 3, a back 5 last time. But look, he was having to use his 5th choice left back, which tells you about Dortmund's injury problems last time out. So look, you'd fancy Dortmund to win here, but you know that their fans will be being a little bit jittery going into this nevertheless.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.